Hey everybody, sorry I haven't posted in a bit, but I wanted to read to you Matthew 23 today. Um, Jesus is talking to the scribes and the Pharisees. Um, it's about anyway humbling yourself. I thought it would be um, a good time to do something on humbling ourselves and looking to God, because I've noticed, in case you haven't, on social media recently, in the midst of all the terrible things that are happening, people have uh, lost their focus on Christ. Right? We have that hymn. My favorite hymn is "Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in His wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace." I love that hymn. Anyway, I think people have lost sight of Christ in all this mess. Um, and also, you see an influx of people throwing opinions out, whether it's informed or ill-informed. You know, we need to humble ourselves and be like, well, this isn't about me. Like this is about something so much more. And where is Christ in this? In times of tragedy, what kind of God are people going to see in you? So, um, let's look at Matthew 23. Jesus is talking to scribes and Pharisees. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. So do and observe whatever they tell you, but not the works they do. For they preach, but they do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to move them with their finger. They do all their deeds to be seen by others, but they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long, and they love the place of honor at feasts and the best seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the marketplace, and being called rabbi by others. But you're not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you're all brothers. And to call no man your father on earth, for you have one Father who's in heaven. Neither be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Christ. The greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted." Um, Before I went to SWU, I went to a school called Piedmont International University. It was a Baptist school. It was a pretty solid place. Professors were good. And the coach of the basketball team was actually a man named Josh Howard. If you do not know who Josh Howard is, that's Josh Howard. Uh, that's him guarding Kobe, for instance. Uh, he's an NBA player. Big deal. Or what? He was a big deal. I'll say still a big deal. I mean, to me, I'm a big basketball fan. Um, and so it was huge. Like he was actually at my school. And one day, I was walking down to the vending machine by the gym, and it just so happened he was getting something to drink the exact same time I was, and I was like so ecstatic, and I was kind of starstruck. I was like, "Oh my goodness! Like, you're Josh Howard." He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "I'm thirsty." But it was kind of a humbling experience for me. Um, and I just thought, like, how about the times when we look to Christ? You know, there should be things that happen when that occurs. Um, we should be reminded first of how wretched and sinful we are in comparison, not to make us feel bad, but because it's just being realistic. But also, so we're reminded who we are, I'll say, in comparison, but also we're reminded of who we are in Him, in Christ. Um, and also, we're reminded of how great He is, right? Just purely how great He is. Um, and I think that's important. I think that's important, especially coming from a holiness tradition. Dr. Donald Metz, um, he once wrote a book called Studies in Biblical Holiness, and in that book he had what he called the Prelude to Perfection, which he said man's concept of God is supremely important, and the reason that is because first, when we look at God for all He is and all His majesty, um, we have um, we have before us a standard, right? We see the ideal archetype of what to do, who to be in this situation. And I wanted to give that to you today because I think we're all kind of, you know, I I mean, there's just a lot of emotion being thrown out, and like, let's throw it in the right direction, right? We should throw our emotion towards Christ immediately, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Go to Christ immediately with anything you're going through, whether it's rejoice or lament. Anyway, wanted to give that to you guys today. I hope that's an encouragement to you. Miss you guys. See ya.